Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, greetings. I completely forgot that I didn't do a non-TLDR version guide this month, January 2026. So let's make it a bit faster than usual. It used to be 4 hours guide, it used to be 3 hours guide. Last time it probably took me 2 hours 20 minutes. Let's make it less than 90 minutes this time, okay? So we have very little, just a few days left. If you're looking for what to complete with what, if you're looking for recommendations just on the champions, then you can look up comment section. I'll try to upload all the recommendations about champions just as video uploads. If you're looking for all the house, if you're looking for general tip, general hints, and just general knowledge, so you might not be coming back for next month guide, that's at least my goal, kind of, then yeah, just take a seat and please stay a while and listen. So this is what we will be discussing. I already did TLDR version on like 4th or 5th of January. We have discussed this list. This is somewhat hardest challenges this month. It's not about actually difficulty, like this is difficult, yeah. This one might be difficult too. But some of them, like 6 and 20, they are in the beginning, so just do not lose your... do not slack. That's what I usually say, like Trick of the Light, Irelia, this is a 2-star fight. Some people might think, yo, this is just 2 stars, I can pick a low-level 2-star champion and it will be fine. No, it will be not. It will not be fine, just that's not how it works. We never look at stars, we look only at champion and special rules, and that's about it. So we have already discussed a lot of stuff in TLDR guide, I just do not really want to repeat everything. I have already given list of recommended champions to grow, to level. I hope you checked it in time. Next month is February and I'll try to do same TLDR version, like within 4, maybe 5 days. So yeah, just make sure to come back, and if you didn't have main champions leveled, I'll give you a heads up on whom to level. By the way, if you're new here, then I'm Krillback, Snorlax is right behind the monitor, and I do monthly challenges with 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars champions. I play only free-to-play relics, and if you are looking for like 6 stars one-shot speedrun, I'm not that kind of guy. This is boring, this is no skill involved, no decision making happened, and I completely scorn 6 stars gameplay. So yeah, I'm playing... Right now my levels are pretty big, but I usually play 3 and 4 star champions. I recently did Azir 2 stars against Vieg, against Lissandra and Baron Nashor too. And I also kind of regret upgrading Mel to more than 2 stars. She's pretty good, she's pretty strong. Alright, so what is the structure of the guide? We are discussing what is on top. We are discussing things in clusters. This time it will be 3 clusters, 3 huge clusters. We will cover every challenge basically and a lot of special rules. So it will take at least 1 hour, I think, but let's try to make it quick. I will do hints, I will do stuff like this. I will show you cards with champions. It will be back, don't worry. And I also wanted to say something that Oh, and we will be also discussing enemy champions and enemy decks, the most common enemies. Well, in TLDR, what would I like to say about this month? So, chat and common consensus is that this month was actually as easy as it can get, most likely. I would say that previous month had 10 or about that amount of Lulus and Katarinas, and it was really annoying, but it was also really easy. The 60 plus challenges were kind of easy, and it was really easy to schedule your most strongest champions. Like you can use Jinx here, there, you can use another strongest champion like Spirit Blossom Ari in some cases, here and there, and month is almost completed, because everything else is just a joke. This month we do not have that many Katarinas, we do not have that many Lulus, but we will have like 4 Irelias, we will have a couple of Ezreals, and Kai'Sa will be back, so it's not as easy as it can get, in my opinion, but it's definitely less annoying. You're not fighting Katarina, you are not constantly getting screwed by Adoribus, so yeah, seems alright, seems good. And also, most common enemy this month was probably Swain 9 times, Darius 7 times I think, and Yasuo, so not a big deal. 60 plus challenges were pretty easy too. Okay, Irelia. Right, yeah, let's go to enemy champions. Irelia, just like in Challenge 6, we will fight Irelia 4 or 5 times this month, and signature of Irelia is that she's from Ionia, it's extremely annoying, she's 3 mana 5/4 creature, and usually you wanna use Noxus against that. Well, not necessarily Noxus, but oftentimes it will be a Noxus champion. The main thing about Irelia is you want to control board. This is one of the strongest enemies that we can face. You know, the fact that Irelia is 3 mana or health means that enemy will need to have 3 mana. You can hold your mana, you can back up your spell mana and use a stronger spell round 2 to counter Irelia herself, and then do the same round 3, and she's basically not as scary, okay? I usually recommend Hand of Noxus champions. Like, we can take a look at Annie. She has Death Hand, 3 mana spell, and +2 damage means that Hand of Noxus is 4 damage, and here Hand of Noxus will be 6 damage. We can also take a look at Swain is definitely imbalanced, he is really strong. By the way, we have a lot of basics that I just didn't mention, like you generally want level 20 champion, 2 stars, sometimes you will have 3 stars on level champion, yeah, but just try to get him as a champion to level 20. Next milestone will be a champion level 25 to get common relic slot. Some champions need a rare relic slot as they have just multiplicative power in them, so Gwen needs level 30 preferably. Some champions are just balanced around 3 stars, so I will soon upload my new series of videos about ranking, about whom to level, about power level of champions at 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars, and even 4.5 stars, as I call that, but that's enough for spoilers. Yeah, back to Irelia. Samira Death Hand, 3 mana, 4 damage. And another one is Darius, probably, yeah. I think I didn't mention him yet. 2 mana and you need Constellation Upgrade. This will make it 2 mana, 4 damage. You just mulligan for that. Unnecessary, of course, to use Noxus. You can use, if you have a big guns epic relic, you can use Misfortune and Constellation Upgrade for Make It Rain to deal it +2 damage. So usually Make It Rain is 2 mana, 3 targets, 1 damage. With that Constellation Upgrade it will be 2 mana, 3 targets, 3 damage. And then if you have big guns it will be 2 mana, 3 targets, 4 damage, which is exactly enough to kill Irelia. And stuff like that. Irelia has a recall spell, which usually swings tempo. That's the most annoying part about Irelia actually, because you are losing blocker and she is blade dancing. So it's also like 10 damage if you have no blockers left. So yeah, Spell Shield is one of the greatest upgrades you can get at champion level 25 for a relic slot. Then we usually discuss Z. Z is 3 mana creature for 3 stats, 5/4 if he managed to level up or if he has Phage, which is actually really rare. He has 4 mana Will of Ionia, recall. He has several elusive units and Ribbon Dancer 2, and Dusk and Dawn is his win condition. 4 mana slow spell to create ephemeral units of a targeted ally. Right, I didn't name counters. I mean, it will be ahead, so no worries. Usually it's really good to play Frostbites against that, stuns against that, stuff like that. Against Aurelia, Noxus, other kill spells. Kain is pretty interesting. Berserker's Buckles are really good choices because enemy will be blade dancing and you can block enemy blade and he will just scale up. At some point enemy will stop attacking. That's a really funny way to counter Aurelia. Katarina is 3 mana. Now our next enemy, 3 mana, 3/2 creature, and win con against Katarina is to never let her level up. Because her win con is to level up, recall champion, get Katarina back onto the board, grant every unit +2/+2, and it just snowballs like crazy. Usually you wanna use 2 stars, 3 stars Veigar, preferably 3 stars, into Katarina, and he just straight up counters her. Like, that's it. You can also use any spellcaster, and if you have big guns, Epic Relic, you can use several other creative choices, like maybe Warwick at 2 stars, he creates Blood Hunt, 2 targets, 1 damage, big guns plus 1 damage, so it will be 2 targets, 2 damage, Katarina will be dead, and you can do that every round, any round you want. And general knowledge is not to use Tahm-Kench into Katarina. Draven, this month we had 3 Dravens. I guess we can discuss him. So his win condition is infinite value and his strongest round is round number 2. So he developed stuff round 1, he didn't attack, you probably didn't trade. Then he creates Draven for 3 mana for free. He summons another creature and then he attacks with double attack and hopefully without overwhelm. So yeah, round 2 is his strongest and we need to prepare for that a bit somehow. If we need to kill Draven, we need to kill Draven, so this is a problem of value in this logic. Following this logic, I usually recommend like Morgana or Caitlyn at 2-3 stars against Draven, and other than that, any spellcaster once again will work because you're controlling board, you are managing enemy units for the first like 3 rounds, and then Draven is out of steam. Cat is being noisy in the background. All other Noxians is just a generic fight, shouldn't really care about that. Darius is quite easy, he will just go face, like Hunter in Hearthstone. We will face Darius 7 times this month, and his strongest spell is, if he already has Darius on board, 2 mana slow spell, stun target units, and rally. Swain is usually a skill issue. Sometimes he can level up with very interesting due to special rules. So if there is Blade in the Darkness, if there is Guard or something else. But usually Swain is just a skill issue. Next, Targon Ezreal. Yeah, one of the worst fights in the game. We have to be precise. Targon Ezreal. Normal Ezreal is free, but Targon Ezreal is kind of annoying. Extremely annoying. So usually you wanna see that enemy has spent all his mana before summoning your creatures because he has Static Shock. Well, just in case. It's not much, but it can make difference. It's really hard to attack into Targon Ezreal because he has that Celestial spell 1 mana stun 2 enemies, so sometimes it is fine to like play Bluetooth fights. You can play Dreadway Chase Gun strat, you can play Gatebreaker strat like Kale, maybe Vi, if you're over prepared and have Vi at 6 stars. I usually used to counter at 3 stars, like before Constellation update was actually in the game. I used to counter Ezreal with Yasuo, because Yasuo is just one of the strongest 3 stars in the game. And Evelynn is kind of alright because you're skilling every unit and Ezreal has swap bot, so we probably usually have some ways to counter that, but it's a headache and we always need to keep in mind that enemy might just use swap bot. I used to counter Ezreal with Kayn too, but it's a really close fight. Way too close. We had, I think, just 2 Ezreals this month, so it's fine. Azir, 5 times, well, he's weaker than in Victor's Adventure, so it's alright. Azir is kind of a freebie. Kai'Sa 3 times. We can skip it. Well, Kai'Sa is an enemy that we shouldn't... What's the word? Just do not send back against Kai'Sa, okay? Usually she has Vicious Enemy or any other extra mana, so if she starts at 3 mana, she can play one Poro, another Poro, maybe Voidlink, maybe someone else, and then round 2 she's already evolved. So round 3 she summons Kai'Sa and it can't go wrong. She can high roll Deathless, she can high roll Elusive, she can high roll Spell Shield, and it will just be an unlucky defeat. That can happen. So I usually use like Olibear, Misfortune, maybe Twisted Fate, Caitlyn once again, maybe Echo, since enemy summons several creatures. And of course Evelynn, Yasuo, Tempest Blade, you will just control the board and it's alright. Next, I would like to discuss Adoribus Lulu. So I will appeal to this one when we discuss Lulu. Lulu has Adoribus, Adoribus is Adoribus, Silence Strongest Follower, and make it 1/1 Squirrel. So just general knowledge is to use Champions, to play like Aching Spirit playstyle, or to use Oath of the Guardians. Oath of the Guardians is on top, it's a free-to-play epic relic. It's a kind of fun one. Doesn't really matter which champion you use. I personally prefer Nila or Samira with Oath of the Guardians, but you can use almost any champion you want. You wanna synergize that with Star Gems to make them really free, and just, yeah, play champions. Next, in the S tier will be Aching Spirit, though Lilia is really good with Aching Spirit. Well, Aching Spirit, by the way, is just the best free-to-play epic relic in the game. It's such a game changer that really so many champions can use it. So many champions will just be enabled with that, and it's a great epic relic. You kinda can use Echo in here, but it is just unnecessary. Yeah, I know. Nora is really good with Aching Spirit. I mean, I used to play Echo with Oath of the Guardians more than with Aching Spirit. It just makes more sense. Tryndamere, it's his best relic, and it's a game changer for him. Without that, we really need to use like Chameleon's Necklace, and he's just a bad one. At 3 stars without Aching Spirit, he is just not the greatest Freljordan. Diana, yeah, she can like one-shot, she can summon a creature, buff that creature with Aching Spirit, and then using Corrupted Star Fragment, you will just get those stats and they will not be gone. We need to have Spell Shield against Lulu's Homecoming, and that's about it. Ari, Misfortune, everything works. Solid tier is Atrox Vayne because of 4 stars. Your creature will be transformed into 1/1 Squirrel, but you will still You will still have stats from equipment, like maybe there is Phage, and you will have Arm to the Teeth +2/+2, so your Squirrel will be actually 5/5. And Lulu cannot get through that. Speed Blossom Ari has Ephemerals, and Fiddlesticks plays his own game, and Lulu has less than 30 cards in the deck. Thresh Disciple of Shadow Succubus Brand is a kind of special playstyle, like this is his meta build right now. If you know that, you know that. You're playing 1 mana creature, then another 1 mana creature with Shadow Totem, then at 4 stars he summons another 1 mana creature for free, so Thresh is 0 mana. You will level up instantly, pretty much. You, due to Disciple of Shadows, will just kill everyone, then you play something else. And Husks die and he levels up and you summon another creature. So that's kind of the strat here. Not really optimal, but it is just enough to make Lulu suffer. Bluetooth fights, so we are not playing by Adorable's rules. We are playing Dreadway Chase Gun, we are playing Explosive Finale, and if we are playing Nika, then that is Aching Spirit, Luden's Tempest, and Dreadway Chase Gun build. Zerg Rush, Level Up Rally, Crown Guard Inheritance Relic, and stuff like that is pretty good too, like we are playing in the kill in 1 round or rush enemy into attacks. Lulu has a lot of low mana creatures, so she's prone to summoning creatures and not having enough mana to protect herself, so this works too. Master Yi, Leona, Lux, yeah, you just can combo kill in 1 round, and if you wanna play 1 champion, then Garen kinda in the list, kind of. They are good. Okay, then we have Jinx, 6 times, she's usually the weakest. Alongside Misfortune and Feast, we have just 2 Misfortunes this month and 0 Feast. Jinx will be... she will high roll something and she will also high roll nothing. Like in challenge number 70, she's just a joke. Usually you wanna counter her with Regeneration, with Toughness. You can use Thresh, you can use Nasus because she is going... Jinx is going white and you're getting a lot of stacks from those extra enemies. You do not want to get lower than like 10-20 health, because she has Get Jinxed for 3 damage, she can attack at Rocket 3 damage, and if there is Blinking Flames special rule, then it will be just a bit more damage and she can attack 1 more time, so yeah, if you're at 12, then this is a bit too low. She might high roll a kill spell. And by the way, Berserker's Buckle once again is extremely good into Jinx. It is just a superb rare relic. This month we'll also see Gangplank 5 times. He is assault by one-shotting enemies. We are supposed to get combo kills, kill enemy in 1 round, and we're playing around his Dreadway. Tahm Kench will be faced 7 times. He is really not that strong, but he is kinda annoying since he has healthy units and he usually blocks you when... Hello, Snorlax. Cat wants to say hi. Hello. So when we're playing against Tahm Kench, we need to make sure that enemy cannot devour us for free, so we need... like, we want high attack, we want some spells in our hand, which is usually... sometimes it is Victor, sometimes it's Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger is kind of fine with Tahm Kench, because I do not really want to use Heimerdinger in stronger challenges, and Tahm Kench is like not a strong medicine enemy, and you're spamming units, and yeah, that's my way to play it. Okay, one second. Snorlax. Hello. Nautilus, we will face Nautilus 5 times. We're usually playing using Chemtech Duplicator, we are playing like 1 turn kill. If not, then we need to a bit know what we are doing. We want to rush enemy down, we want to use like Crown Guard Inheritance. Enemy is healing a lot, he has stun spell, so we want spell shields, and He is one of those enemies where if we do not know what to take, I would just recommend Black Shield as a free-to-play epic relic. If you have that. Snorlax, take a seat. We will face Victor 2 times, nothing much. You can use Luminous Orb and Regeneration Warm's Armor if you're really scared of that elusive, but usually, like, if Victor has good special rules, he is scary. If he doesn't have special rules, then he is nothing much. We will face Caitlyn 5 times this month, and we're just picking Toughness, we're picking Regeneration, we're picking Berserker's Buckle, we can play almost with any champion, and yeah, Caitlyn is kind of easy on her own. Yasuo will face Yasuo 8 times this month. Yasuo himself is 3 mana for 4 first attack creature. We need to make sure not to sacrifice unit into enemy attack. If enemy has attack token round 1 and enemy summons Yasuo round 1, then just do not play anything, take the damage, and do not let enemy deal and stun our unit. Deal 2 damage to our stunned unit. You know what I mean. Yasuo is really bad at rushing, but he is kinda okay at stalling the game, so this month we will see power overwhelming Yasuo, and it's a bit... it can be miscalculated. Either way, his main win condition is leveled up Yasuo, so just make sure to control Yasuo, kill Yasuo, and that's it. He's like a weaker Ezreal, kind of. You do not need to be as wide as when you're fighting Ezreal. You do not need to go that high in stats. Kitty. And we're also fighting Karma. We will discuss it later. And now finally to the special rule section. First cluster. We are discussing forest workout, right? Yeah. So I'm not really into this special role. Main things to consider into forest workout is Warwick, because he has strike when he is summoned on play effect technically. Diana has double attack, she won 3 stars, every dragon is standing, striking. And we also need to consider like Crown Guard Inheritance and Gale Force. For some reason I didn't type Gale Force. So yeah, if we wanna play Warwick, it is fine to stack him a bit, play him with Stalker's Blade, strike one, strike another, and with Gale Force we will attack twice, and then we just need Overwhelm if enemy has any units, so like full build or just a simple common relic Overwhelm, and it's alright. When can strike several times around, you just need first attack to not die. Jax is really easy to rush enemy down with Crown Guard Inheritance. Yumi has Barrier, so we are just kinda stalling, staking, and kind of stuff like that. LY, Ari, Creator's Gatebreaker, and everything else is kinda just striking. Units strike each other, units heal up. Yeah. Sometimes you will see Jack on the first row and Volibear in the last row. It's not because Jack is the best and Volibear is just worst out of every good unit, but like sometimes you just do not want to use Volibear in this special rule. Like he has some synergy, he fits here, but like Master Yi is really much better in Vestige of Helle and Price of Progress. And Volibear should be used with other strategic choices. not because of forced workout. Alright, Noxian might too. It's kind of nothing much. Enemy have +4/+0 and overwhelm, and like if you're struggling with that, you can consider some board control stuff like Morgana and Yasuo, maybe Split Blossom Kindred at 4 stars. Ashe is good, Jindamir is good. We can consider Annie and Abessa, they have 1 mana stun. And of course Tempest Blade, Evelynn. If needed, just Evelynn is really strong champion. I also do recommend Warwick because he is just a good general champion, generalist. Lilia is alright, she can sleep enemy, and Lilia is a pretty strong champion if you have Echoing Spirit. Nora is alright since you can sacrifice units almost every round. Leona has stuns and Nar has stuns too, but against hard challenges you just do not want to use Nar. Okay, next we're discussing Sovereign's Domination and Afterimage. Afterimage updated, this one. So, best in slot would be... what are these rules actually? Sovereign's Domination is... enemy summons strongest follower that died last round, our strongest follower, and Afterimage is enemy summons strongest follower that died throughout the game. So if enemy has that turret special rule that summons 8/8 turret after several rounds, after like 7 rounds, right? It should be around 8. Then enemy will have 8/8 ephemeral unit and 8/8 non-ephemeral unit due to that turret rule, so it's just a lot of units. In terms of Afterimage, so enemy will have extra blocker and extra attacker every round. So it's a bit harder to do cheap damage to enemy, and you need extra blocker every round. Which means that we need stronger, not necessarily early game, but mid game, and we need a plan how to kill enemy, how to finish him off. Kai'Sa is really strong in mid game, she is just really strong, she has a lot of raw stats. That's about it. You are... like sometimes you're playing around 6 mana. And Kai'Sa, well, if you have attack token on 5 mana, you just place Kai'Sa and you're almost winning. You have like full build, Luden's Tempest, and you're good. Aatrox, Vayne, at 4 stars, they are among strongest budget champions. At that level of investment, you just cannot go wrong. You invest 100 fragments into their 3 stars, and then you invest 60 more fragments for just next neighbor star, and you're already really strong. Some champions like Swain will be obviously the strongest in the game for 220 fragments, but these two, Aatrox and Vayne, they work at 160 fragments and they can complete a lot of stuff. Aatrox, of course, is first, not because of alphabetical order, but he's actually better since he has life steal. So he's one of my Runeterra recommendations usually to every beginner. And also, yeah, Echoing Spirit is second line, so enemies reviving followers, we can sacrifice just a champion and enemy will not revive champion. So Caitlyn is in the list, she controls board with traps, she can use Stalker's Blade, Guardian Angel, that is already enough. And at 3 stars she is kind of fun to play if you're into that kind of style. Like, you're doing random stuff, your enemy deck has traps randomly distributed, and I'm into that kind of stuff. I completely do not enjoy Pike, I am not into Tryndamere, but Caitlyn is alright. Lilia, a really strong scaling, you need Echoing Spirit, Stalker's Blade, and Guardian's Orb. This is the best in slot combination for Lilia, so you are just controlling early game and hero scaling. 2 Stalker's Blades is... it's alright if you just wanna protect yourself, but that is no scaling and... or just really slow scaling, I guess. It doesn't really work against Deadly. And double Guardian Orb is risky, it can work, it can be more fun in challenges, but I recommend Stalker's Blade and Guardian Orb. That's the golden middle. LeBlanc and Ekka, their best builds would be Stalker's Blades, just general builds, right, at 3 stars, 4 stars. So if you have 2 Stalker's Blades, then LeBlanc and Ekka will benefit from enemy having extra unit. It will be much easier for LeBlanc to cycle her mirror image, and Ekka will just always have unit to strike if you wanna play Ekka, then sacrifice Ekka, summon a stronger Ekka, and cycle that thing. Echoing Spirits is a pretty obvious choice, although the Guardians kind of already discussed that in Lula Doribus section. Next line makes sense, so... Cat is back to her duty. She needs to take care of Window. Right? She needs to watch and observe what are human beings doing. So we also want, or like, we can play buffs that are kind of temporary or a player side. So Kai'Sa will have Evolve player side and her 2 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars rather, mana flow. Those buffs are player side. So even if we manage to get 3 keywords unit, 4 keywords unit with Evolve, enemy will not get all those extra stats. Ambassa gives buffs to unit everywhere, that should be player side, Kain. That's a buff until unit dies. Illaoi will not give enemy strongest tentacle, tentacle will be respawned as a 1/1 creature. Anivia temporary buff, Annie, she uses skills to kill enemy, she has stun, so usually she just doesn't really have that much issue with finishing enemy. She is killing enemy like within 5 rounds usually. Elder Dragon, not really that hard to finish the game. Lee Sin, if you have Overwhelm, so at 3 stars you're not sacrificing units usually, and then once you have leveled up Lee Sin, it's not really that of an issue to finish enemy using Dragon Rage and Overwhelm. Combo kill self-explanatory, Hymno Follower kind of the same, makes sense too. Luxie Barrier, that's just extra step, but it's same logic, you're not sacrificing stuff. Thresh Nasus, enemy has extra unit, so just like in any extra enemy encounter, they are in the list. They are really good into little bodies and iterative enhancements, and I decided to include them here too. Shyvana, Volibear, Yasuo are alright into this, but they prefer other stronger challenges. Afterimage is definitely hard, but it's not as hard as it can get, like, it's just a rule on its own. It's 6, 7 out of 10, I don't know what to say. Sometimes enemy randoms, like legendary small stuff and something else, like Demacian Might +2/+2, right? That's a whole different story. And if you're undergeared, you probably want to consider the risks of playing Evelynn. Husks will be given to enemy. Gwen, Hallowed unit will be given to enemy. Vega's Mists will always give enemy extra mist. So if we're playing Vega into Vega, that's an interesting choice. Mordekaiser sacrifices units all over the place, so consider the risks once again. Spirit Blossom Kindred, you are sacrificing Beast. No, bad. Ornn and Jax, you do not want to sacrifice improvising units, that's about it, because enemy will have ephemeral unit, but equipment will be given to enemy forever. Embrace the Current. That's an easy one. Only player benefit from that. We have a huge choice. I'm only missing Varus in here, like one of YouTube watchers actually recommended Varus, like, you know, why is there no Varus? And I just, yeah, I was a bit tunnel visioned on his meta build. That can happen. After making 40 of this, I was a bit tunnel visioned. So against Embrace the Current we want something like things that generate extra spell, or maybe draw more than usual. Jack is in the top tier because that's one of the roles that you wanna use Jack into. He is not the best, but it is one of his best special roles. Garen is great. Threat for Ornn is you play unit, you use Forge, you get spell mana back, next round you have 3 mana, you play Forge again, you have 5 mana, and you can play Bone Club for 5 mana. That's an interesting combo. Let's not waste time here and go further ahead. Beyond Mere Flash isn't usually really scary, like elusive units are getting +1/+1 is just a bit more damage. If enemy has Challenger and say First Strike, then yes, this is scary, but usually enemies do not have more than one keyword, and like usually Beyond Mere Flash is just elusive Poros are getting +1/+1, and that's about it. Only Victor really benefits from that. Magic number. This should be 1 per hour, but once again, it depends on enemy. We are facing Z once again this month in magic number special rule, so we should consider the risks. This is one of the lists that I recommend. Pretty obvious ideas: Elder Dragon heavy units, Tryndamere, we just keep cheap stuff, and Mulligan every heavy stuff. Volibear, same idea, but it's unnecessary to use him here, he's alright. Ornn, yeah, same. Anivia, great. Spirit Blossom Yasuo probably should be great. I didn't really didn't play test it yet. And some people say that why is there no Mordekaiser or Nautilus? Because their decks are actually cheap. It's only the champion that is heavy. Their decks are cheap and they do not belong to this special rule. And of course, high cost support champion is what we need to pay attention to. Just invest rerolls into high cost support champion. That's a skill that we need to develop. Even I forget it about. Sometimes, like, I'll be like, yo, that's a Lee Sin, and that's alright. No, it's not. I should have rolled more. That can happen. Next, Natural Magic. That's another fun one. My new signature strat is Wild Inspiration, Portal Pulse, Spirit Blossom, Kindred. I already have a lot of videos on that. It was against Baron, against some other stuff, and I did it in monthly challenges too. If you are curious, then you can check my VOD channel, Grillback VOD. I do use it. I used it twice, I think, this month and previous month too, so it's not really about speedrunning, but it is a fun option. Like, you're playing a 7 mana creature for free, because Portal Pulse is -4, Natural Magic is -2, and Wild Inspiration is another -1. So yeah, 7 cost units are become just 0 cost, whatever. Logic is we need extra draw, or we need stuff that can create another stuff. Like Atrox's signature spell is strike this, strike that, and then strike again. Nami's spell is Create 1, Create 2, Create 3. Against harder challenges, I would definitely recommend Evelynn and maybe Vega. Evelynn is pretty much S- tier champion at 3 stars. She is really lacking almost nothing. You just need a couple of turns to develop. You need Husk at the end of round 2 and then play Evelynn at round 3 at 4 mana. And she's great. And she's Gucci. Then Garde. This is kind of the list that I do recommend into Garde. Eka has Wild Inspiration as a star, second star. So Garde will be 1 mana, single combat will be 1 mana. Lee Sin creates 1 spell on his own and single combat will be just another created spell. Garen revolves around that, so why don't you want to have 2? Kain is a pretty strong champion. I, in Your Guide, already did recommend leveling Kain this month. He is really good into many encounters this month and like into Azir, into Guard, into something else too. Luxie, this synergizes with her 3-star, 1-star, 3-star rate. When you target your ally, you get Spirit, and then at 3 stars you get Spirit and Impact, if I recall correctly. Tam Kench, it will be easier to scale up. Ashe, you are just frostbiting enemy you're controlling the board. Spirit Blossom Kindred, you cannot die. You're controlling the board this way through the single combat. And of course you can have Wild Inspiration. Kayle, a lot of stats. Yuumi, and any other Phalanx champion. Right now, Phalanx champions are Ambessa and Leon at 4 stars. Yuumi is just the best one of those. You're using single combat, you're getting barrier, and that feels like cheating. And also, of course, Yuumi is just a must-have in collection for monthly challenges. Next, Course of Power. Nothing really to say about that. If you're bad at controlling board, then it will just become worse and worse. So we need a stronger early game. Strongest enemies round is round number 2. I usually pick a spellcaster that is board control oriented, so Misfortune is my number 1 pick. Twisted Fate if there is also spell mana or just easier enemy. Spirit Blossom Kindred can be alright. And of course many other champions. We will have a lot of recommended champions in the comment section, so yeah, trying to make it like we're already 1 hour in and we haven't even discussed first cluster. Crafty portals. Usually you're playing what is discounted. Usually you wanna play Veigar into Katarina, so Veigar has a job. Yuumi into legendary small stuff, and we will have that this month. It will be like next one. So we do not use Yuumi into crafty portals usually. Vex, if you have Vex at 4 stars, or at least if you have upgraded that new spells in adventures get +4 spell damage, then Vex is a special champion that deals with harder stuff. So once again, that's a no-no, and we are just using anyone else. Hemorrhage, it synergizes with our Nexus health, nothing much. Empire above all, I highly recommend controlling the board through the spells. I do not want to recommend stuff like just do not play around it, go white and kill enemy. Well, it can work, like we can even play Yuumi that creates 2 poros and those poros will be scaling, but that's a not rock solid strat. Actually, do I have anything else to say about Empire above all? Yeah, so idea is it can force us to trade 1 for 1 instead of 1 for 2, maybe 2 for 3. So yeah, it's just easier and better to control the board through the spells, like Misfortune, Mel, Vex, Spirit Blossom, Kindred, Caitlyn, Yumi is alright, Elise, Evelyn, Yasuo. I actually have a huge list. Darius, Illaoi, Hammer, LeBlanc is alright, yeah, I agree. Luxie, Barrier, Master Yi, one-shot enemy, Thresh, kind of. Power King, a lot of units. Nora goes white, Ambassa can go white, Annie, Ashe, Morgana, Spirit Blossom, Evelyn, maybe. Next, legendary small stuff. Small stuff, this one. So, Yumi is best in slot, but I just decided to not create an S tier line because this is still skill dependent and other special rules dependent and also enemy dependent. So sometimes if enemy high rolls Domination might 2, Noxian might 2, maybe every unit has scout, then you are better off using Jinx, Aurelion Soul, Swain, Vex, or whatever you can, and just skip this challenge. But generally speaking, Yumi is best in slot, Aatrox and Vayne, just like against Adoribus, at 4 stars they are really strong. Kai'Sa is kind of alright, she used to be stronger, but right now it seems to... like, logic was probably changed a bit. So she's just a keyword bot that will use Luden's Tempest to kill enemies. She will be moved to a tier lower. Once I get to check that again, I hope that we will see small stuff in weekly adventures. I tried Kai'Sa this month and the results were a bit different than they were half a year ago. I remember that I used to play Kai'Sa with a Quick Strike Blade and she was not 1-1 when she was summoned. As if she's getting Evolve first, and then she's Shrinked, and then our 2-star upgrade kicks in, so she was 3-3 at least. Fiddlesticks plays his own game, Caitlyn controlling the board via traps. You do not need a high attack stat to kill enemy, you just need to strike. Second line is pretty much Bluetooth fights, skills, spells, Luden's Tempest, Echoing Spirits and Dreadway Chase Gun. Misfortune can play Spellslinger style, same, yeah, Darkness. Then Unnatural selection. Of course, since I have, and by the way I do have a video about that, since the most generally recommended pay-to-play epic relic is Victor's one, we can play just almost any champion with that epic relic, but generally speaking, if we need to pick a champion, then Power King is really great, especially if you have Spirit of Buru. Kai'Sa is alright, not because the idea is Kai'Sa triggers Evolve easily, and since every unit has Evolve, then every unit that support champion had, or every unit that we had baseline in our deck, like that predict unit, everything will have Evolve and it will be triggered really easy, like round 2, round 3 at worst. Next I do recommend Morgana. Morgana has Toughness on her 1-mana drop, Overwhelm and Fated on her 2-mana drop, and Lifesteal on Morgana on her own. You just need 2 other keywords. You can use Luminous Orb and Regeneration. You can use Voidborn Carapace to get keywords from enemies, and you can use Dream of Yordles for Spirit and Impact. And that's 2 keywords, just a common relic, and that's a lot. And of course Spellshot is great. Nora can get a lot of keywords, and Eka can get a lot of keywords because of his star upgrade. You're giving keywords to unit in predictions. Blade in the Darkness. It's really nothing much. Enemies triggering strike effects. So if there is Timasian strike, that is scary. If there is a Swain, that is scary, but usually it is just nothing much. It brings nothing to table control, to board control. Nautical Nuisance is what I call a home task. It's not really a complete list, it's just whatever I felt like adding in. We can use Hymn of Valor, Grand General's Contraplan, Camp Deck Duplicator, of course, if we really want to. My personal preference into this 3 mana is Twisted Fate, Lily against really strong stuff, Spirit Blossom Aura against really strong stuff, Gale whenever I feel like, Nika, Fair Cleaving Axe, and Overwhelm. And you're just killing enemy in one round. Caitlyn is fine and fun, and why, you know, she just has a lot of spells, so it's alright to use her. Just pick whatever champion you want. And by the way, if you have any other champion that you feel like I should add, let me know. I didn't upgrade this list, I didn't update it like for 3 months, I think. I'm planning to update into this list at the end of January, but and last one is Vanguard Lookout. Honestly, nothing much. We can look up little bodies, iterative enhancements, all extra enemies. Well, I guess I can show this. So this is the list. Real Profit, extra Sigils of Storm, extra stacks. And Mel is alright, but she's not as good into Vanguard Lookout. She's just here because of little bodies and iterative enhancements. Okay, finally we're diving into challenges. Challenge number 4. Forced workout. This is nothing much. 1-star Jin. Challenge number 12. There is definitely a synergy, forced workout, so we need to control Swain. Well, generally speaking, when we're playing Swain, Swain is his win condition, so it doesn't really change much. We're still playing around killing Swain. 23. Forced workout, game plan Katarina. Yeah, I probably picked Veigar, obviously. Forced workout is interesting into Katarina. She doesn't really get that double my power benefit, but every other unit will be getting extra stats whenever Katarina is summoned, and then it will be doubled. I definitely do not want to play around Forced Workout. I think I would rather play against Katarina, but if you feel like playing against around Forced Workout, then yeah, use the methodical book. Play maybe Shyvana, maybe actually what do I have in my recommended list? Where is it? Oh no, it is closed. Oh no. Veigar, any Noxian's Death Hand against Katarina, or Forced Workout, yeah. Okay. Next, 37. Noxian Mind, Forced Workout. So my speedrun took me 4.5 hours. I'm playing not really for my full power. I decided to play Ashe. She's kinda slow, but yeah, I just don't want to lose in the first place, I guess. The synergy is pretty obvious. Like if you have 4 stars Ashe, then she is alright. If you have 4 stars Tryndamere, it might be alright. Either way, Yasuo, Kayle, Warwick, Volibear, any to stun enemy, Morgana, Mel. Mel is really good here. Jinx, Spirit Blossom Ari. Yeah, Jinx is unnecessary. Mel looks interesting. 42, remove the imperfection, forced workout. This is enemies like anti-synergy. He has anti-synergy. Yeah, we're trying to one-shot enemy. This is Gangplank. Solo enemy. Should be easy. 46. Sovereign's Domination, forced workout. Yasuo, if Yasuo manages to level up, then he will strike double his power. When he attacks, it is unknown. Sovereign's Domination is a skill issue. Either way, we have discussed everything else. And yeah, nothing really much to add. We have discussed everything. 69, nice. Afterimage, beyond inflation, breathe the current. This is skill issue. This shouldn't be an issue against Darius and embrace the current. We're playing anything we want. You see everything, right? Yeah. 41. Beyond Mere Flash, magic number. This is Z. I decided not to kid around and picked Aurelian Soul. That was unnecessary. Enemies isn't really benefiting from Beyond Mere Flash. Like some ephemeral units, enemy Z will have +1/+1 due to quick attack. But either way, Aurelian Soul, Tryndamere, Anivia, Volibear, Elder Dragon, Frostbites, King Z, pretty much methodical. And another recommendation can be Luminous Orb or our Sharp Sight. And of course, Spell Shield against Z. Next one, 43. Magic number, Afterimage, and both enemies are board control oriented, so Black Shield is the best recommendation, and then we deny skill issue and play around magic number. 53. Afterimage, Natural Magic. We're playing around Natural Magic. This is nothing much. We can be creative. This should be fun. 26. Natural Magic. Yeah, Lulu is annoying. Jinx is easy. Jinx will just play her whole hand, so she will have extra rockets. Lulu is nothing much. Pretty big deck. Ephemeral units. I definitely played Natural Magic, Oath of the Guardians, Nila. Just highly recommend checking that if you do not know what that means. How Oath of the Guardians Nila is being played. 36. And Garde, Afterimage. There is really no synergy with Azir, so this is just a skill issue, and then Garde, Kain, definitely highly recommend. Next, 25. And Garde, Viega. Just basic Viega. Viega in Monthly Challenges is much easier than in Galio Adventure. He doesn't have Spell Shield. I think he doesn't have that much mana usually, like he starts at 4 mana, maybe. I'm not sure in Galio Adventure. There is no infinite Dawning Shadow, no that BS, no that extra draw, so should be fine. Chorus of Power and Garde. Yeah, Chorus of Power Jinx is pretty obvious synergy for her, but she's weak. She has a pretty weak deck, so she will play everything and that's it. We can play Wicked Harvest into Jinx if we want. We can play Berserker's Buckle, which probably is the best choice if you do not know what to pick. Definitely Berserker's Buckle should be the most baseline recommendation. 51. Course of Power, Hemorrhage, and this is Darius, so it will be 2 Hemorrhages and a Pyre above all. So yeah, this is like one of the strongest, one of the hardest challenges of month. Highly recommend using your elite artillery here and just do not kid around. Chorus of Power will make Darius round 2 really strong, and then round 4 will be the most deadly if you're under-leveled. If you have something like, I don't know, Yasuo or Evelynn with Tempest Blade, then it's probably alright. You're just suffering because of Hemorrhage. You can use turret plating if you really want to. I completed Azir 2 stars against Swain, 5-star Swain adventure with turret plating, and it did 2 wonders. $48 Hemorrhage, Profit, Crafty Portals. So this is Draven that is hitting our Nexus with Hemorrhage. Well, I picked Vex and it was a pretty freebie because of discount, and this is 2-fight challenge, so it was extremely easy for me. Like, I even completed Nashor on the first try with Vex on 4 stars. I guess this shouldn't be an issue for leveled Nora, for a leveled Yuumi, for a leveled Vex. If you have prestigious Spirit Blossom Teema, that can be a good choice too, so you take care of your Teema, you level him up, and you control the board. Otherwise, need to use stronger champion. Small stuff, Empire above all. Yeah, this is like sorry. This is the case where Aatrox and Vayne 4 stars do not really work, because enemy due to Empire above all is just forcing us to trade 1 for 1. And we need to pick something that is stronger. We have discussed this one in Tell Your Guide, and I do have a list of recommended champions, so not gonna really talk much about this one. Small stuff, combat awareness. This is another hard, probably one of the only hard challenges in 60+ range this month. 65, I added this because of Undying Rage Tankage. 61 is kind of... it doesn't really change much, you just need to be careful, kind of. Do not sandbag. So yeah, a list, I do have a list of like 5 champions, I think, that is best champions in the small stuff, and just generally speaking, best champions for anything in the game, any challenge. If you do have at least one of those, you need to save that run for this one. That's the point. Next 70 is Jinx with Unnatural selection after image. This should be easy. Blatant Darkness does proc when Jinx attacks because of Death Rocket, Super Mega Death Rocket. After image is a skill issue, and Evolve is just our bonus. Use any champion, you can use Berserker's Buckle too, and it will be a freebie. 45 Mana Flow, Unnatural selection. Karma can be countered with Chemtech Duplicator, and Darius is kind of countered by Unnatural selection, so we just pick something that works with that and this. Right now, Porking is the best choice. We have that new champion, new constellation rather, in the game, so you guys probably have Porking fragments. It should be best in slot. 54 Extra Mana, Blatant Darkness. This shouldn't be scary. Of course, Victor will be like menacing, threatening, but we are playing again around this rule and we need to be stronger. We have discussed pretty much everything, so yeah, just if you play around extra spell ban every round, you will be stronger. Same, Azir is pretty weak. 28. Gangplank Ezreal, I think this is normal Ezreal, not a Targon one, I do not remember. Either way, playing around 3 spell mana shouldn't be an issue. Can play any one-shot related. What did I use? I used Twisted Fate. Could have used Lux, honestly. Flash of Steel, yeah, this is a hard one. Just out of the blue, Flash of Steel and 3 spell mana, enemy can high roll a lot round 1. So I would highly recommend drafting and mulliganing towards that. Like, we need probably Frostbite, we need to understand that game will probably go until 6 mana, so Chemtech Duplicator is an alright option. Just do not lose focus. This is easy, but this is also hard because enemy can high roll. Challenge number 2. Yeah, this is a freebie. That was a short break for me. Yeah, let's move on. Second cluster, Mortal Marks. Mortal Marks. Everyone has 1 health upon summon, so usually you're trying to control the board through spells. Man, that noise. This is the list of recommended champions due to their spellcaster nature. Mel is great due to her 2 stars. Warwick 2 stars Bloodhound will just control the board. Caitlyn will work unit 2 stars once again. Twisted Fate, red card, clear everything. Veigar kind of works too, but you probably want to use Veigar against Katarina. Oops, unmuted way too early. And then Vex, she has AoE, Aura of Effect, and Misfortune does have Aura of Effect too. Enemies of Demacia will fall. Yeah, nothing really to add. Enemy will just summon Grandra Plaza, every unit has +1/+1. This is usually a skill issue, and let me tell you this. So sometimes enemy will have attack token round 1, and you need to wait until he summons everything, until he attacked, and then you can summon your units so you do not sacrifice stuff. Sometimes it can be that you have attack token round 1, and the creature that you want to summon is just unnecessary. Then it's probably once again better to stall, to wait until the end of round 2, take that like 15-20 damage to your face, and only after that start developing. So you do not want to lose combo pieces, and that's one of the play rounds. Arms race. I think I have, at least for these champions, in a weekly discussion that I do here on YouTube, but I do not have a actual, I didn't save the card for this one. Yeah, I didn't save it. So a lot of stuff can work into arms race. We can use to those units and play Nora, everything will be +3/+1. We can use Lilia, +2/+2, like 2 spirits to everyone. We can use those units as extra units for equipment, so Atrox Vayne at 4 stars will be superior once again. We can get, of course, that extra spell damage, extra skill damage, so any spellcaster will do wonders too. And we also need to understand what enemy will get from this arms race, like enemy will get plus extra stats, and enemy will get extra creature too, so if enemy starts Blade Dance right away, then this guy will be attacking. Fortifying Frosts. Soon I will have just like in Unflinching Strength, in Wailing Spirits 2, I'm soon releasing my per region video for champions at 2 stars, 3 stars, 4 stars and 4.5 stars. So right now, what can I say about these regions? Usually Ashe at 4 stars is like average power. She feels like average 3-star champion at 4 stars. Volibear is really strong at 3 stars. Anivia is alright, but he needs to beat a high roll during combat and during adventures too, so she doesn't really need much relics. I personally use Guardian Angel full build and Luden's Tempest. I completed Nashor without Chemtech Duplicator, I think, if I recall correctly. Frostbite is just simply enough. So yeah, Tryndamere is really good if you have Aching Spirit. He is alright at 4 stars against Nightmares, but without 4 stars and without Aching Spirit, he is just... he is not really that much playable outside of normal campaign. Unflinching Strength, LeBlanc is among the strongest 3-star champions in the game. A lot of Noxians are actually really good. Swain is one of the strongest champions in the game at 220 fragments invested. Before that he is like A+, S-. But at 220 fragments invested, when you have Pyromantic Wake on every spell that you get, every new spell, he is just beyond godlike and strongest champion of the game. It's really hard to pick wrong Noxian champion. Darius is boring, but for some reason, when you check your fastest time, Darius is one of the fastest runners in campaign. Wailing Spirits. Oh, by the way, Samira is just a top 1 per hour champion. Highly recommend. Wailing Spirits, one of my favorite regions. You have a lot of opportunities. You can sacrifice your units to draw cards. You can sacrifice your units and free board space, which is actually a real thing in this game. You can free board space with a meaning, let's put it this way. And of course you have several different kill spells. Dawning Shadow, Vengeance, Atrocity. Yeah. Suffer is kind of a skill issue. Red as Her Lips, Frenzied Fight and Rock to Heart, we will be discussing this, but just generally speaking, price of Suffer is a skill issue. Sometimes you wanna take extra damage to your face instead. And of course, Berserker's Buckle is just really great. Lingering Shadows. Let me show you this one. Viega is best in slot, Gwen is really good, Kindred is kind of alright at weaker adventures, at weaker challenges. She is a bit not up to date, but back in the day for a pre-constellation era, she was one of the best defensive champions in the game. I used to complete the hardest Z fights, hardest Irelia fights with Kindred, and I did enjoy that. So if you are thinking about leveling or not leveling Kindred, well, these days you will probably think that she's just bad, weird, slow, and yeah, she needs an update at this time and day age. But because I played before, she's alright. By the way, let me change this one for a more fancy rank 3. Man. This is actually not a competition, of course, I understand, but playing in such a huge undergear, that's funny, getting rank 3. Evelyn, husks will be sacrificed, Speed Blossom Ari, ephemeral units will be sacrificed, you will be getting a lot of stats to units in hand. Thresh, you want to sacrifice stuff too, kind of, you want to trade, you do not mind trading. Mordekaiser trades units all over the place. Misfortune Monkey will be dying every round. Spirit Blossom, Master Yi. That's his signature thing too. Ephemeral units. Or a king. You can sacrifice units anytime. Warwick, extra units to sacrifice to. Swain is of course imbalanced champion, but if you have him at like 2 stars, 3 stars, if you're not really confident in him, then you can just use Gatebreaker, Creator's Gatebreaker, and Succubus Brand. My voice, I'm losing it. So yeah, if you have any husk generator, this will be alright. And Pike, he's just not my champion. It's really hard to recommend Pike to anyone, but he has ephemeral unit every attack token round 2. Demacian Might. This is actually one of the hardest special rules in the game, because enemy is not tied to time. So if enemy uses Blade Dance, he will be just scaling. If enemy has Blade Dance Darkness, he will be scaling, and if enemy has Quick Attack, then he will be scaling before you can damage him back. And also, this kind of counters formidable, but it's not really an issue right now. So, yeah, just pick one of your strongest champions. Damage-wise, you can control the board through Misfortunes Make It Rain. Vex has Gloom and Area of Effect spells. Spirit Blossom Ari has spells and units to sacrifice. Evelyn can stun every unit. She needs some time to develop, so she's a bit better than Yasuo in this case. Like, Yasuo can complete something else, and Evelyn is not really that strong, so she is probably better off wasting her here. Twisted Fate, red card to kill units, and gold card to stun enemies so they do not scale. Veigar, just another board control. Extra raw stats, pretty self-explanatory, and control. Yasuo controls the board via stance. Caitlyn is interesting, you can sacrifice Caitlyn if you have Guardian Angel, Stalker's Blade combo and traps. This is a bit weird but fun playstyle. Nasus gives enemies a lot of minus stats. He has 2 stars and synergy with 4 stars. That does a lot. Morgana, same as Yasuo, one of the strongest control decks in the game. Unstoppable Force. So for some reason I didn't save this one. I'll just tell you the best champions for this one. So usually you want to kill enemies within like 2 attacks, otherwise you will be dead most likely against harder challenges. So you want to use low cost units. You want to see and look up spells that creates units, like Bilgewater's one. You want to look up Shadow Totems everywhere, and maybe a Shadow Totem with the Thrally banner. Speaking of champions, Gwen is one of the best. Crown Guard Inheritance is great relic. Gale Force is alright, but I do not really enjoy playing Gale Force. So yeah, I just say that Crown Guard Inheritance should be your best choice, best bet. Gwen is one of the best champions into this Unstoppable Force special rule, because you will also heal up. And if you do not kill enemy on your second attack, you will at least heal up, so you can attack 3rd time. Elise can rush enemy down, and she's alright with Gale Force. Jax is pretty good, he has First Strike, and Crown Guard Inheritance does wonders, he also scales up a lot. Diana, double attack, can use Gale Force, can use Crown Guard Inheritance if you really want to, but a bit unnecessary. Just double attack is usually enough, so you will be killing enemy in 2 attacks. Neatly, if you have Transmogulator Spectral Scissors, Azir Sand Soldiers will have Overwhelm and extra stats, Nico Discount and Shapeshifter, Shape Splitter, so she's really good into this one too. Misfortune works, Nora a lot of units, Samira Discount, so Once again, a lot of units. Spectral Scissors, great free-to-play epic relic, Crown Guard Inheritance, one of the best rare relics into this mod. Only the strong. So we are picking our favorite champion. That sounds like Middle Ages. I choose you, champion, and we're playing the champion as if it was a single role-playing game. Jack is on top. You usually want to use double Berserker's Buckle on him. If you have Chosen by the Stars, that's a great option too. So generally speaking, you want to use Regeneration, Berserker's Buckle, and this is the list. You can use permanent buffs, kind of permanent buffs, right? Kale, Vi is alright, Gwen. You can sacrifice stuff and then you will attack, get all those hallowed stacks, and it will do wonders. Spirit Blossom Ari doesn't really care about units dying, because they're ephemeral anyway. Corrupted Star Fragment, great choice. And okay, let me go through. Lee Sin can use Corrupted Star Fragment, easy to kill enemies. Spirit Blossom Kindred cannot die. Beast is ephemeral, Pike ephemeral, and he has a lot of like attack instantly, Piranha and Quick Strike Blade, Lurker. Bard, you're just playing combo kill, and you're scaling through the chimes, so you can sacrifice any time. A lot of units will be scaled up. Jhin. Idea is double Riptide Battery. So you're playing 4-cost Jhin, you will have, with double Riptide Battery, you will have like +8/+8 Jhin with quick attack, and if you have full build, it will be Challenger, First Strike, Overwhelm, Toughness, huge guy, Giga Chad. Vex is of course alright just because of the Gloom. Weird choice but understandable. Master Yi. Yeah, that's kinda else option. You're staking, but you're buffing your unit, but that's not really as good as Kale. Viega, pretty much the same. You're scaling, you have Viega that scales up through the mists, but that's an option, I guess. And Thresh is funny because everything will die, everything but 2 units, and you will get stacks and keywords. Withstand, nothing much. Iterative enhancements, little bodies. So let me show you this once again. Volibear, Sigils of the Storm from extra enemies. Nasus, Thresh, extra stacks. Mail actually counters Poros and early turrets easily. Here 2-star combo, 2-star upgrade. Warwick is alright, extra enemies to scale up, extra enemies for Viega or for Kale. Man, I'm losing my mind. Extra enemies for Eka and LeBlanc. Extra enemies for Viega are alright too. So you will kill that enemy, you will summon another mist, it's a benefit, real profit. Kale, Kane, extra stats. And funny is like Tempest Blade funny, Riptide Battery funny, Pike's upgraded level to the X Cross Strike. Swain if you have Gatebreaker and Succubus Brand. Jack, 3-stars Jack is kinda funny. Luden's Tempest, dealing that pew damage at 1x speed is kind of funny, and red card, a lot of red card damage is actually funny too to me. I wish I had Explosive Finale instead of Higher Education in the game, not in real life. Vestige of Helia. Do I have a list for that one? Not yet, it wasn't saved, I see. I did create that one, but I didn't save. I probably have some stuff in another... Never mind. So this mod tells you that you wanna play creatures due to spell shield, and then you also wanna buff them. So every spell will be discounted by 1. Master Yi is definitely best in slot, but other than that, I prefer the Luxi, because Master Yi is just boring to play. And Luxi eliminated. In case if you're new here, she will just be scaling units, nothing can be recalled, and that's a kind of fun option, in my opinion. Eking Spirit Diana is a solid choice. Nami is kind of alright. You're not killing enemy units, but at least you're healing up your Nexus and giving your units a lot of stats. Gale is obvious choice. Eka is kind of alright. Into harder challenges, I do recommend Lilia with 1-2 Stalker's Blades, 1 Stalker's Blades, 1 Guardian or Pana. King Spirit is her best in slot build. 2 Stalker's Blades into challenges should be alright. You just play Lilia, sleep Lilia, play another Lilia, and you go infinite this way. Into Irelia, especially with Vestige of Helia, they do seem to like random quite often. I usually recommend Giga Ari. I do have a video about that. Kain and Atrox Vayne. Price of Progress. Call to Arms Tryndamere, Master Yi, pretty much self-explanatory, obvious choice. Kayla is alright, Nika. So you have 2 mana discount every turn, so this is alright. Luxi, you get to play unit, and then you'll just spam barrier, so works like a charm. Nami, you will heal up anyway. Lux, you will get to 6 mana. Lee Sin, you need to find a way to spam your another spell, other than Wind Discipline that you generate every round, so he's kind of alright too. And yeah. So Ambessa, 2-star power. Illaoi actually has a lot of spells. Jaina, I'm not really a fan of that, but people actually want me to add Jaina to this list. I play Jaina in a different playstyle, you can look it up. I have a lot of videos on that. Mordekaiser, Deathless. Fiddlesticks plays his own game. Grand General's Contraplan is good in many champions. It actually is really great, especially on Nora. Eking Spirit on some champions. And to play champion without playing champion, sometimes Packed Powder for a discount. You can combine Packed Powder and Scorched Stash for 4 mana discount. Frozen Tomb is great on any champion that costs like 4 or 5 or more. So Lee Sin with Frozen Tomb, Heimerdinger with Frozen Tomb, and other champions. And of course Hymn of Valor is just a superb tactic. Tranquil Minds this month isn't really meaningful, so nothing really to add. Rock to Heart Red is her lips, Frenzied Fighting. Yeah, you're taking damage. The best counter for that is sometimes toughness, sometimes regeneration, but I highly recommend considering Berserker's Buckle if you haven't tried, especially on challenge number 14, Red as Her Lips. You can play just, I don't know, any 0-2 creature with that relic and you will see that it will be something, I promise. Next one, Undying Rage. Now this is usually solved with Gloom stacks. So Vex is one of the best choices into this one. Fiddlesticks has Gloom too. I strongly recommend picking Mass Challenger Rare Relic, so you can pick a blocker in order that you want. That makes difference. I usually use that on Luxi and Jax. I mean, like, even right now, this is actually technically my build. Well, wait a second. So, Luxi eliminated, I used this one. Allies have Challenger and allies have... I am getting extra spell mana. And on Jax, I'm kind of... he's way too strong. So I'm using actually Transmogulator on him. This is the build that I used against Misfortune and Baroness Adventure. And this one is alright too, like, this can be used too. I just decided that I want to use Beast Within. It was the very last epic relic that I gotten. One of the very last. Spirit of War was actually the last one. So I'm using Transmogulator, Crown Guard Inheritance, I attack every time, I level, I'm scaling, great. And of course, yeah, Challenger, that just works. Transmogulator, Challenger, that's a fine strat too. Against Undying Rage. Double Stalker's Blade, I have already explained that 2 or 3 times. Thumb Kinch, you will just ignore the special rule, like you will not trigger Undying Rage. So you need to understand that. It hurts. So you are not triggering Undying Rage, you are not killing units. You are capturing enemy unit. That's how it works. Nasus gives extra stacks, extra minus stats. Viega outscales any Undying Rage. And there was another idea, probably his level up, I don't remember anymore because I'm just using Fiddlesticks or something else into Undying Rage. Volibear, you strike, and Tryndamere, you're just outscaling enemy, and if you have like Stalker's Blade on Tryndamere, yeah, that works too. Alright, let's speedrun some challenges now. Okay, we are 96 minutes in of me doing this monologue. It happens guys, it's alright. I used to do 4 hours guides previously, before I restructured stuff. Back in the days when I was repeating a lot of stuff all over again and again. Okay, challenge number 1. Yeah, so I picked my least leveled Spellslinger, now actually Mel is my most leveled. I've been having fun playing daily fees, like twice a day, or sometimes 3 times a day, right now as there is no event. So yeah, Mortal Marks, play any spellcaster you want. 29. This shouldn't be scary, we are playing against around Mortal Marks anyway. We are controlling the board, Mel once again, great choice. 56. Mortal Marks, enemies of Demacia will fall. This is a bit scary for Z. And... you probably do not want Chemtech Duplicator against Karma. You can. Like, you need some area of effect against Z, surely. And you do not want to lose on value against Karma. The idea is kind of like that. Shouldn't play around enemies of Demacia. Well, anyway, if you're playing Spellslinger, you're playing against enemies of Demacia anyway, right? 38. Arms race, enemies of Demacia will fall. I probably did one-shot enemy using any with double Dreadweight Chase Gun. You can look it up on VOD channel. We have discussed the special rule, we have discussed another special rule, we have discussed Yasuo, so shouldn't be an issue. 17 Ord against this. Yeah, that's just a freebie. 35. Demacian Might, Fortifying Frost, and Caitlyn. So Caitlyn has elusive units, she has Quick Strike on herself, and it's great that we can Frostbite enemies, and we also have a discount, right? So she kinda got countered. Just use Freljordin and it should be free. 34. Demacian Might and Noxus discount. We have a really bad Irelia with Demacian Might too. It could have been a disaster, but luckily we have Noxus discount. So just like I said in the beginning in the Irelia guide, whom to pick into Irelia, this is great and this should be no issue. I use Swain because I wanted to speedrun this month, a bit faster than I usually do. I will probably do the same in February because my goal was to complete everything in under 4 hours, but I didn't manage that. It took me 4 hours and 30 minutes. Unstoppable Force, Domination Jinx, so I did I did say that this is a harder challenge this month, like top 10 hardest, but it doesn't really change much, this Domination Might. We're still playing Unstoppable Force. I'm just trying to say that enemy Jinx will go white, and if she attacks, when she, like, if she plays all the units that she wanted to play, all the best in slot units, like this Poro, that Poro, Elusive Porous, and she goes white instantly and then she attacks and you cannot block, then it will be just way too much damage. It can go wrong if you're under-prepared, if you're under-geared. So I definitely do think that Gwen is the best choice, but Gwen requires you want to have like 30 levels into Gwen and 3 rare relic slots. You want to have Luden's Tempest, Crown Guard Inheritance, and something else like maybe Corrupted Star Fragments or Disciple Shadows, or another one like Overwhelm after all, because your Overwhelm is a 4-star upgrade. Oh well, you don't need that right here. Anyway, having extra relics on Gwen is really meaningful. Yeah, maybe you will want to use Azir rather. Chad did say that they used Azir in Unstoppable Forest and it was like cutting bread, cutting butter with a knife, so it was easy. I'm just saying that this is a bit unlucky for us, but it just doesn't really change much. We're still playing as a casual Unstoppable Force encounter. Next, 47 is Unstoppable Force Darius, so yeah, nothing much. Look up the tips, hints in the comment section. Misfortune, Yasuo, easy enemies, we have discount, Suffer. Well, Suffer, Yasuo plays the unit, Yasuo plays Yasuo, we play unit, he attacks, he stuns our unit, he deals 2 to this unit, we survive, we're like, yeah, I didn't die, then Suffer happens. So this is in fact a skill issue. Next challenge 11. A lot of nothing, we have a discount, we have Lingering Shadows, this is the best synergy, so we play Gwen, we play Viega. Great. $57. This is a rough Lee Sin, honestly. If you are new to monthly challenges, but if you're like kind of smart, you might have already noticed that Lee Sin in monthly challenges is usually easy. So I'm just saying that this Lee Sin is not easy. He has his fun favorite from Draven Adventure. Yes, we have discount, but this is also Adorables, and Vicious Enemy means that game will be a bit annoying, it will be taken to 6 mana, so this is not an easy Lee Sin. If I'm playing 2 stars, 3 stars champion, if I do not have any epic relics, I think this would have been a really hard challenge, and it would have been like a 8+ mana fight. So yeah, we have discussed everything, and that's probably how the fight will go. General common knowledge against Lee Sin: if he attacks with like 1 attack creature and 3 attack Lee Sin, you do not want to block. You do not want enemy to get an opportunity to play stuff in response, because otherwise he will be definitely playing the Resonating Strike, because when he attacks he usually does not play that. So do not give him an opportunity to play Resonating Strike. Rock to Heart, Lingering Shadows. Yeah, I picked Viega into Lingering Shadows. I'm pretty self-confident, just confident, okay, into any encounter without having Viega. Just the fact that Viega is good here, so I used him. Otherwise, I would have picked Giga Ari or something for Rock to Heart, Berserker's Buckle. I have already... yeah, Viega, Berserker's Buckle, Atrox Vayne, Tam Kench will be your best in slot for this one. 60, only the strong, suffer little bodies. Do I have any recommendation for this one? Just play around only the strong? That's it, I guess. Oops, I'm moving my stuff. So, Viega can high roll kill spells, so it will be annoying. And we probably do not want to play just a one-man army. Fiora has a 4-mana riposte, 3-mana Cataclysm, so either way, against Cataclysm and against Viega's kill spells, we want Spell Shield on our carry. Other than that, we're playing around Riposte, that's a 4-mana Fiora's spell. Fiora is always a 4-mana 6/6 creature, so that's about it. I think if you follow only the strong list of recommendations, this shouldn't be a challenge. Only the strong withstands and easy enemies, this is nothing much. 52 iterative enhancements, only the strong. Nothing to add, honestly. You can have fun against turrets, which is a good choice, but once again it's just unnecessary. Anything will just die due to only the strong. This is probably just, yeah, another challenge, good challenge for Kain, and I use Kain. If you are new here, guys, just make sure to click that subscribe button, and just in 1 week I will have another TLDR guide with all the best recommendations whom to level, like 1 month ahead. I did this, I wrote the whole guide. It was actually written 40,000 symbols plus, 60,000 symbols. Just no one asks that, okay? All the recommendations, all the stuff for deaf and hearing disabled people. I also give all the ideas whom to level. Just do not be late next time if you're late here, and do not say that you cannot level stuff right now. Yes, Kain wasn't really in my recommended list the last 3 months, but right now it is good. He is back to the army. This one is Draven, Domination, only the strong. This is kind of unfortunate. Domination, Draven, it can go wrong. Just once again, Kain. Only the strong, Kain, Garen, one of these two. Kain, Garen, Tam Kench, Ari, Darius, Wyke, Kayle. So yeah, Ari and Darius are good because they have Hold It to stun strongest enemy every round. Kayle is scaling and enemy has no removal. Talia is really weak. And Draven will just, like, he will not scale. He's a tempo warrior, he doesn't scale, so Kayle is alright. You stun enemy once, you maybe stun enemy twice, and you're just over him instead. Y also scales health due to her 3 stars. Tam Kench, Garen, Kain, yeah. Challenge number 7. Price of Progress. We didn't have Price of Progress for so many months, and now this is like a flavor of the end of 2025. We have prepared for that, right? Tryndamere, Eking Spirits, Master Yi, Kayle, and Nika, and a lot of champion recommendations actually. 16. Yeah, this is easy. 18 Vestige of Helia, Noxian Might, Azir, and Irelia, right? Yeah, so this one... this is a Irelia with Vestige of Helia. I think I have already said that these two, they seem to random together quite often. So yeah, I have recommended list. It will be Master Yi, obviously, Luxie, Shyvana, Kayle, Lilia, Kayn, Giga Ari, because this is a Irelia. And we cannot be recalled, but even if we did get recalled, then Ari isn't losing stacks. Aatrox, Vayne, Varus, all the good choices. 39. We stand, Tranquil Mind, so this is just a Z, and Draven in we have Ionia discount. I think we have discussed everything at this point. 64. Katarina, turrets, and Noxian discount. And Lulu. Yeah, that's basically what we wanted. Noxus discount into these two. Like, this is exactly what we do not want to face, but Noxus discount makes it so much easier. 66. Rock to Heart, Blinking Flames, that was just a Giga Ari completion. 2 times in a row. Make sure to check what is a Giga Ari build and game plan, game style. It's a kind of special choice. Niche build. It does wonders. Red as her lips, Frenzied Fighting. Decided to use Nora. Why not, I guess. I was probably showing off the Eking Spirit, Corrupted Star Fragment, Spectral Scissors. Maybe actually not Corrupted Star Fragment, but rather Beast Within, but probably Corrupted Star Fragment into this one. 27. Frenzied Fighting, Darius, Karma, Berserker's Buckle for a Frenzied Fighting into Darius. We're getting extra stats. This is a 3-star challenge. Enemy has no extra mana, so we will just probably brute force Darius. And against Karma, we either want to find good stuff in a shop before the Darius. This is a 2-fight challenge, so it will always have shop. Or we can play Chemtech Duplicator, if we really want to. And 65 is a Tahm Kench Undying Rage one. Radiant Fighting. So like I already said, Tahm Kench tries to devour us, and we strike Tahm Kench. He doesn't die due to Undying Rage, he heals to full, he gets all the good stuff, and our unit is devoured. We just need to control this. We need to prepare for this. Need to have either a answer for that. Use Gloom, Ari, Tahm Kench, Aatrox Vayne, Volley, Spirit Blossom, Ari, Master Ranger Relic, Kai'Sa Vex, yeah. Nice, now onto the last cluster. Just like 10 minutes left. Nice. Alrighty. Savage Mysticism. Honestly, I mean, you already probably know what to use against Savage Mysticism. So, Chemtech Duplicator in the bottom. Bard, Morgana is alright, Leona is one of my favorite choices into Chemtech Duplicator. She's a one-turn kill kinda champion, kinda playstyle. Set is alright, I'm not really a fan of this set, but yeah, I just found my own specific playstyle to play Set. And yeah, I'm kinda proud of that, I guess. And that happened even before the Constellation. Then his Constellation was released. Man, that noise. The furniture. Holy. Jace is alright with Chemtech Duplicator, and if you just somehow happened to have leveled Jace, yeah, you probably wanna use him into Savage Mysticism or Karma Encounter, but outside of that, he's just a B tier, B plus tier at best. Sadly. Really hope that he will get some buffs in some way. And now he's weird. I hope that Bard will not be as I hope Bard will be better after Constellation, let's put it this way. Janna is kind of alright with Chemtech Duplicator, and once again I'm using Janna with a different build, but I used to play Janna with this playstyle, so it will be alright. And honestly, a lot of champions can work with Chemtech Duplicator. Like, if you wanna play Ambessa with Chemtech Duplicator, sure, it will work. Tryndamere, that's how I leveled him. I was playing Volibear with Chemtech Duplicator and double 5x 10x experience, and that's how I got him to level 50. That was my first level 50 champion. Varus, Chemtech Duplicator, Hymn of Valor, Spell Shield, boom, one shot, easy. You can use any heavyweight. Heavyweight champion, heavyweight deck. What do I mean by heavyweight? It's unnecessary a heavyweight champion, but like if your combo needs 7 or more mana, then it's already kind of a heavyweight. So Mordekaiser is 7 mana champion. I use Pact Powder and Disciple of Shadow, so I play him for like 2 mana. He is still kind of heavyweight because he wants you need 3 or 4 rounds of development. Bard, on the other hand, he is a 4 mana champion, but you wanna play his signature spell, and if you have Echoing Spirit, that will be a 2 mana cost. Still, 6 mana is a bit too much. So Bard is kinda the lightest heavyweight champion in the game. Other than that, yeah, Volibear is a heavyweight, more the Kaiser Ornn, Elder Dragon, Spirit Blossom, Yasuo. Honestly, whatever you feel like. Guided Meditation, 10 mana, kind of discussed just right now. Power Overwhelming, the menace of beginners. So I'm just trying to say that enemy is scaling infinitely, but you do not need to scale to infinity on your own. Game usually anyway ends at like round 6, round 7. So at my skill level and level of progression, at my like 3-4 stars progression, game is usually decided within early game, and it's just a question of how you end your enemy on your late second attack, on your early second attack, or within 5th round if you had attack token round 1, so on your 3rd attack token. Sometimes game goes longer if you're playing Yasuo, if you're playing Lee Sin, if you do not have Spell Shield, if enemy kind of high roll stuff. But either way, it is unnecessary to think that you have or you need infinite scaling. You oftentimes do not need that infinite scaling, because game has already been decided and enemy is just playing like top deck. That's what I'm trying to say. But of course, some decks like Gangplank, Misfortune, Thieves, Jinx, they are really weak baseline, and Power Overwhelming, Demacian Might, these special rules bring a lot to the table, and enemies will like go from a freebie to an actual fight. Either way. So, lists of recommended champions. Yasuo can control board, you can kill every enemy when you play Yasuo, and you can outscale your enemy too. Evelynn outscales, controls the board. Viega outscales, Kayle outscales. Spirit Blossom Ahri, due to her that 5 mana spell that goes infinite due to Grifter's deck, you outscale. Spirit Blossom Kindred, you outscale. Then you will heal up any damage taken and then you one-shot on your 6-7 mana, depending on your attack token, and Chemtech Duplicator obviously. Kaisa, you're killing enemy on like 5 mana or 6 mana on your first attack token. Akshan, if you have invested into Akshan, well, I usually say 220 fragments, then he is pretty much as good as Kaisa at killing enemies early on. But without that, he is just do not mind him. He just doesn't exist. Yeah, you will see that in a Shuriman tier list. Victor scales up. He is just not as good at killing enemy, but he scales up due to his augment giving extra stats. Eka, predict into scale up. You can also sacrifice Eka to summon a stronger Eka. Great choice. LeBlanc mirror image. Anytime you will clear anything. Lilia, Eking Spirit, Stalker's Blade, Guardian's Orb, you will outscale and control board. Nora, just like Kaisa, you will be killing enemy on your third attack, usually. Yumi, both outscales and controls board, kind of. She can trade anytime if you have 4 stars upgrade. She's just better off in other challenges. Ambessa outscales, but with extra step. Pretty strong deck overall. And Pike is the last one of good champions because he does outscale enemy, but it takes some luck, and I'm not a fan of that. I just cannot recommend Pike, but I also cannot not say that Pike is good here. Next, Gwen, you have a sacrifice at 3 stars. So it doesn't matter, if enemy doesn't have overwhelm, you can always protect against 1 enemy unit. Then on your attack you will have a lot of extra stats, you can have Gwen with first strike, you can heal up, so it works. Luxie Spirit, it scales up with just like 2 extra steps. Warwick outscales. Talia, you wanna have that Phage upgrade in Constellations, so it takes some fragments to be viable into power overwhelming. Ellie is kind of outscales too, but she's better off in other challenges special rules. She can be used here. She's really strong and she got Constellation. Like, this list was created before her Constellation was released. And if you have Fear Cleaving Eggs and Dream of Yordles, yeah, she's alright still. If you have Crafty Star Fragment, that's my build for most of deadly stuff. If you do not need Death Foil, then yeah, you're golden. Garen against something that is easier, Jax into something that is like mid to easier, Ornn same, Kindred kind of same, she's just a weaker Lily at this point. And 1 turn kill, you survive, you kill. Arcane Emissions. Well, just like in 3 mana every round, this gets 3 mana at the game start, so just pick your champion, do the strat. Gathering Storm. Usually it is nothing much, so enemy draws a card, it can make difference, enemy stuns your unit, it can make difference, and it also works every time enemy attacks, it also can make difference. So if we are playing against Irelia, the Blade Dancers, if we are playing against Zed, he has Blade Dance too and he is a very aggro-oriented deck. This can be scary. Other than that, it is usually not that scary, so it is context dependent. Let me look up if I have anything else to say. No, not really. No looking back, we are not playing around that. Animated Armor and Dying Laughing. So these two, I really don't want to invest too much time into that. We have Animated Armor. Okay. This is a good option, list of good options into animated armor, where everyone is formidable. What didn't fit? Let me take a look. Luminous Orb, Sharp Sight, Relic with regeneration. Or we can also control the board with Victor, Mel, Twisted Fate, Misfortune, Split Blossom Kindred, Veigar, Vex, Yasuo, Caitlyn. For some reason this list isn't updated. I definitely have just another folder. I didn't seem to update this folder correctly. Oh, wait, I see now, no, this one. They lose health, so they lose damage too, this one. And we have also Phantom Prankster. Dying Laughing. Strength of Stone is the best in slot option for Prankster. I do have video about that too, you can look it up. So, Carpet Star Fragment, by the way, please use it if you do not know what to use, like if you're just a beginner and you are confused. You can use Nora with Carpet Star Fragments, and that Prankster will be a lot of stats. And you use Carpet Star Fragments to get those huge stats, huge stat stick onto your Nora, and it will work. Breakthrough Research. Piltover and Zone discount, nothing really much to add. Warwick is a great generalist champion. Other than that, yeah, nothing really much to add right now. Dutiful Service. So we have Shyvana Fragments all over the place because she was recently released. She's a really strong, one of the strongest 3-star champions in the game, and that's about it. If you feel like playing Lux or Luxia, sure, feel free to play them. They're really good. But if you manage to get mana flow, they will be even better, because that makes a lot of difference. I don't want to spoil much stuff from upcoming videos. Mercy Killings. So you can play around Mercy Killing's special rule by playing Warwick. He is just a S tier. You can not play by the rules of Mercy Killings by playing Bluetooth Wide, so Dreadway Chase Gun, Mel, any Nico. And every other is just whatever is written, kind of. Phalanx or Equipment Juggle to heal up, can hold and survive. Line, green line number 1 is Barrier, Ephemeral Units, Recall to heal up. Yeah, it's pretty straight explanatory. Calling for aid. We do not play around that. Trick of the Light Repetition, please be creative. And yeah, it will be easy. I am pretty sure that Trick of the Light and Repetition are just the most fun special rules in monthly challenges, so everyone just will be creative. Okay, challenge number 24. The final sprint. This should be Savage Mysticism, yeah. We're playing Savage Mysticism, we're playing Heavyweights, Chemtech Duplicator. Challenge number 33. Power Overwhelming Guided Meditation. Once again, we're picking Chemtech Duplicator and we are killing Gangplank in one shot. I think I would strongly prefer Lux or Leona into this one. I picked Varus just to show off that Varus can do this too. Chemtech Duplicator, Kimno Follower, and he's dead. Challenge number 40, Power Overwhelming. So this is that thing that I already said. Lee Sin and Yasuo can prolong the game, and you will see the Power Overwhelming tick two more times pretty much. And if you're really weak and unprepared, oh man, why wouldn't you just keep it? I don't know. This is a legendary special rule. So yeah, against this you probably will play until like round 6 mana, 7 mana. So it's probably easier to play with Chemtech Duplicator, but otherwise, let me look up what I have suggested. Speed Blossom Ari is my choice. We can one-shot with Nidalee, we can use Kale to outscale enemy, Viega to outscale enemy, 3 mana will help us, Evelynn will outscale enemy and will stop enemy aggression, Nami will heal up and one-shot enemy, most likely. Speed Blossom Kindred is alright, Kai'Sa due to Power Overwhelming, yeah. Nora is alright, Ambessa is alright, Luxie is really good, Eka is alright, Lilia is really good here. If you have just Guardian Orb, Stalker's Blade, yeah, this is really good. Just, if you do not have Eking Spirit, probably you can add one of the previous relics and use it in any combination. Yasuo himself is alright, Yumi is alright, Porking is alright, Warwick is... I would rather use Warwick in other cases, but I did recommend Warwick here too. Okay, 31. Gathering Storm, Arcane Emissions. Yeah, nothing much. Gathering Storm, enemy will draw 1. But like if enemy is deep, then you're already in a trouble, so the fact that he draws 1, it doesn't really change much. And Gathering Storm helps enemy to finish you, it doesn't help him to protect against your aggression. Either way, you probably want to play from Chemtech Duplicator standpoint, so Lux, Leona, Spell Shield, Black Shield would be best in slot. Challenge number 8. You have 13 mana round 1, and this, yeah, this should be free as it can get. Just Swain and Nautilus, this will be a skill issue. We have discussed Swain, we have discussed Nautilus, and these two special rules doesn't really make any difference. Easy enemies, Bilgewater. Like, if I wasn't in a hurry, I probably would have played Akshan, but I decided to pick Darius. Darius into Tahm Kench, into easier enemy. Like, it's if I have round 2 attack token, I just kill them on my first attack. Straight up on my first attack. Mana Leak, Vicious Enemy. This is Ezreal and Kai'Sa, really strong enemies. Do not underestimate Kai'Sa, do not underestimate Ezreal. I think I would prefer Yasuo or Evelynn into this to be rock solid. I decided to pick Misfortune just because I wanted to complete everything faster. And by the way, I still had all 3 Jinx runs. And I didn't use all Swains, I didn't use all Aurelion Sol runs. I still had Volibear, I still had Vex, I think, left. It's a pity that I cannot check what I have left, honestly. That's the only thing that I'm lacking, that I would like to see. Next challenge, number 3. Animated Armor and Ashe and Irelia, so this is good for us and bad for them. Next, this is Phantom Prankster twice, right? Yes and yes. So for challenge number 10, this is obviously Strength of Stone is best in slot. Otherwise, I would rather go white. For this one, just Strength of Stone or Thresh would be the best. What do I have in my recommended list? Oh, I have a lot of champions. Yeah, it's alright. I have a lot of stuff recommended. Number 5. Breakthrough Research, Fiora Poppy. We are playing around Cataclysm, 3 mana spell. We are playing around Riposte, 4 mana barrier. These two are best countered by Frostbite, so if you do not feel like playing Piltover and Zaun for some reason, you can play any Frost Freljordan to Frostbite enemies. Like even Ashe will be alright. Strategically speaking, Ashe is good here. Breakthrough Research into Lulu. So we have an upper hand against Lulu. Yeah, play whatever you want. I decided to go white, so I picked Heimerdinger. 21. Last month I used Garen against like challenge number 60 Katarina with a dutiful service. This time I used Shyvana because I wanted to speedrun it, and also Shyvana is really good into to fight challenge, so our new dragons can get -2 mana, Nomad's Medallion. Garen should be alright, or otherwise we're playing against Katarina and controlling the board early game. Okay, next is Demacian Might, Mercy Killings Darius. We're playing against Mercy Killings in the first place. Use recommended list 67. Mercy Killings Swain, nothing much. Like same. 68. Yeah, this is kind of scary, Check of the Light, but other than that, this is just extra mana Irelia. I would highly recommend being creative, using Mirror Mage in your own favor. So we have discussed Irelia, we have discussed Trick of the Light Mirror Mage. I have videos for Mirror Mage, I have a lot of stuff for that. So please, yeah, play around Mirror Mage. Make sure that your Mirror Mage isn't getting recalled round 2. It will be especially bad, and you're good. Whom would I focus if ADM plays Irelia round 1? So we have Mirror Mage and Irelia. I think I would still focus Irelia. .58 Repetition, Fiora, this should be freebie. And the last one, challenge number 6. Yeah, Check of the Light. Same weekend. Oh, I mean, you probably have completed this already. A lot of good choices into this one. One of the best choices that you can do also is to bring level 20 champion, at least. So you have 35 Nexus health. This actually helps a lot. You can be not confident at 35 health, you can be somewhat confident at 40 health, and sometimes you're just alright at 42, 44 health. Like, for some reason I feel confident at 44. That's about it. Well, alright. Ladies and gentlemen, this will be it for tonight. We have discussed everything, every special rule and every challenge this way. So, if you're looking for next favorite TLDR guide, please make sure to follow, subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, or maybe in Twitch chat. I try to go live on Twitch at least 3-4 times a week. I actually try to stream 60 times every 90 days. That's my personal challenge right now. I usually stream about 50, like every second day. So yeah. happy hunting, have fun. Please enjoy your time in the game.